Miami Herald did some good reporting on that. That was really the first time that, I began to look at this. But it was so the cover up, the initial cover up started under the Bush administration. The cover up continued with the Trump administration, then under Donald Barr, losing the highest profile criminal sex trafficker in the world in a federal prison to suicide, which is right. And then now we have yet again. So this is a pattern for the Trump administration. And that doesn't mean that Democrats aren't indicted as well. But once again, through the shenanigans with the empty binders, Pam Bondi, now Dan Bongino, Kash Patel saying there's no there's nothing there. Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself. And then the infamous Bondi memo, there's nothing to see here. There are no victims. And then obviously culminating with Donald Trump freaking out on air and throwing a tantrum about how everyone needs to get off of this. This was a Democrat created scandal. None of it is true, despite the fact that right-wing media has been screaming about this for multiple years. And here we all are today. Nick, Bryant, what do you make of where we are today? And this yet another cover up.
Well, you've got to look at where we are today by where we have been. And when Alexander Acosta was being vetted by the Trump administration, he was asked, why did you give Jeffrey Epstein such a sweetheart deal? And he said, because I was told Jeffrey Epstein was intelligence, and it was above my pay grade, and I had to stand down. Now, and this was in 2007. There's only two people in the government that can tell a U.S. attorney to stand down. One is the attorney general, and one is the president.
Wow.
At the time, the attorney general was Alberto Gonzalez, and the attorney general or the president was George Bush too. So, and a attorney general isn't going to cover up a nationwide pedophile network and go out on a limb unless his boss tells him to. So this wasn't a Democratic plot. It was started by the Bush II administration. This cover up was blatantly started by the Bush II administration. And then we can fast forward to, and I want to say this, Obama covered it up, Biden covered it up, and Trump covered it up. So it's been covered up by both Republicans and Democrats. And that's because both Republicans and Democrats are compromised. And then
remember that gold can act like insurance for your money, because its price tends to rise as the dollar's purchasing power falls. So as inflation becomes more and more unbearable, if you are investing in and purchasing physical gold and silver, this acts as a hedge to that, right? And so as that dollar value declines, your gold, your silver is increasing. And we're looking at gold breaking that 4,000 mark that was also reported recently. So this is why so many global economic and geopolitical entities are beginning to move into gold. You can move into gold too. Colonial Metals Group, everything from the purchasing of physical gold and silver at great prices, also setting up or transferring your wealth over to a self-directed gold and silver backed IRA. That is another hedge for your retirement, for your investments, and every American needs to put a gold and silver strategy in place like immediately. There is still time. This is not going to go away, this problem. It's very evident with the big betrayal bill. It is time for you to begin to protect your family, your wealth, your retirement. The folks over at Colonial Metals Group are standing by. They are ready to talk to all of you in the Joy audience. They love this audience. They've taken great care of me. It's the only company that I trust, and they will take great care of you as well. colonialmetalsgroup.com/joy. That is colonialmetalsgroup.com/joy. Go there right now today. See if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver. It is an amazing deal for the Joy audience, and you can take advantage of because both Democrats, just so people heard that, because both Democrats and Republicans are compromised. In your opinion, between the Franklin scandal and the Epstein scandal, do you have names? I mean, how many Democrats and Republicans, high profile through your research, do you think are involved in these type of scandals, and also the cover-ups, and potentially also the blackmailing? Do you have kind of a top of the head list of these high profile characters that you would be comfortable saying, they're involved?
Well, I can tell you the Black Book, how that came into my possession was Epstein's house manager, Alfredo Rodriguez, tried to sell it to one of the attorneys that were litigating for some of the victims. And that attorney called the FBI. The FBI did a sting, and then I ultimately got the Black Book from one of the lawyers. And Alfredo Rodriguez circled names in the Black Book that he thought were in cahoots with Jeffrey Epstein. And then we have Virginia Giuffre, who went up against Ghislaine Maxwell. Unfortunately, she killed herself a couple of months ago. But she went up against Maxwell in a defamation suit. And her sworn testimony named a number of her perpetrators. And that's where we can get double corroboration.
Okay.
Between Virginia Giuffre and Alfredo Rodriguez. So Alfredo Rodriguez circled Ghislaine Maxwell, and Virginia Giuffre named Ghislaine Maxwell as a perpetrator. Rodriguez circled Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel, and Virginia named him as a very unsavory
Perpetrator.
And Rodriguez circled Les Wexner, the billionaire who owns Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie Finch and a number of other lines. And then Virginia Giuffre named him as a perpetrator. Rodriguez circled Alan Dershowitz, and Virginia Giuffre named him as a perpetrator. Rodriguez circled Bill Richardson, the former New Mexico governor.
Wow.
And Virginia Giuffre named him as a perpetrator. The same with Jean-Luc Brunel, Epstein's partner in the MC Squared modeling agency.
Say that you just trailed out just a little bit.
Jean-Luc Brunel was Epstein's partner in the MC Squared modeling agency.
Okay.
They were buying children in Eastern Europe, not renting them, buying them, and somehow they were able to get them into this country with visas. I don't know how. I haven't found that exact mechanism.
Wow.
And Rodriguez circled other names in the Black Book, but here we have double corroboration on various perpetrators.
Many are speculating that the release of the Epstein files and detailed client lists and evidence could implicate Donald Trump himself and also sitting presidents and associates of sitting presidents. Do you see any credibility in those accusations? Do you think that could be the case and the reason why they want to continue to cover up?
Bill Clinton has 25 contact numbers in the Black Book. He's not circled, but he has, and he was delivering women to Epstein was delivering women to Clinton when Clinton was the president. Donald Trump's name is circled, but I haven't found any victims to corroborate that. There was a woman named Katie Johnson who filed a lawsuit, and she had said that she'd been molested by Donald Trump when she was Epstein and Trump when she was 13. But she retracted the lawsuit, and I've heard differing accounts of that. And it took me 3 years, but I finally found her, and she won't talk to me. So I don't know what to make of that.
Okay. So there's some smoke. You would think if there was no fire that they would say, release the documents. I mean, okay, let's go here. Why do you think, once again, we're dealing with a cover-up? Why would Donald Trump as president and his attorney general, Pam Bondi, in the footsteps of Bill Barr in that first administration, why would they want to cover up these files and this information, in your opinion?
Bill Barr, Donald Trump's attorney general, in his first administration, he's a very sleazy, unctuous guy. And he's actually a CIA guy. I mean, even on his Wikipedia page, it says he's CIA. So, and he was the attorney general for Bush 1 that covered up the Franklin Network.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, you see these guys getting recycled. And with what's going on today, you've got Pam Bondi on February 26th said, we're going to release the files. And then actually, I released more incriminating information on Jeffrey Epstein et al. In 2015 than,
Right.
than Pam Bondi did in 2025. She did release the black book that I put up on the internet, but every name was redacted.
Yeah.
I,
Unbelievable.
I just redacted numbers. She redacted everything. But then she said that she'd been bamboozled by the FBI New York field office. So we can, it's one of two things. Either she was lying on national television or she was inept because she didn't look at the documentation. I'm a charitable person, so I'm just going to go with inept, at least at this point. But then she further tarnished her credibility when she said the documents were released, but documents that are related to national security will be redacted. So now she has to tell us what a bunch of child molesters have to do with national security. So she keeps digging herself deeper and deeper in a hole. But the crescendo of her mendacity was on February 21st when she said that, or actually it was in May when she said that there was a truckload of evidence, and that, and she was talking about computer hard drives and disks that the FBI was vetting, and that's an outright lie. The day after the morning after Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and put in prison in New York City, the FBI sought his safe open, and his safe was not like a safe one. His safe was the size of a closet.
Okay.
And the feds took out lots of disks, and they also took out hard drives. And the New York Times reported that there were hundreds, if not thousands,